Well, good afternoon, everybody. How are you? How are you? It's me. Oh no, I got to echo. Hang on 1 second and let me fix that. Okay, I am outside here again. Hopefully, no technical difficulties. Welcome. Saturday afternoon live stream. Good to see you. And even though it's not morning coffee with Mitch, drink it if you got it. And I got it. Good to see you all. We do not have Ellen this afternoon. It's just me. And what we're going to do is we're going to, in a few minutes, I'm going to post a link. And any of you that want to join me on a panel can do that. We did that last Saturday. And Laurie says, I don't got it. So I guess you can hear me fine. And I hope it's better. Hope the audio is better than this morning. I made some tweaks to the equalizer settings on the mic, the noise, all those special things that are supposed to make me sound like a radio broadcaster. I hope this sounds better. I won't know until I watch the replay, but I think it's probably okay. Laurie says great audio. Super, super. Glad to hear that. We'll see what happens when I bring people in, see if their audio works. It's very complicated to set one of these up. And wow. I think I got it. I have had to angle my whole thing a little bit towards the north here because the late sun in the afternoon is shining right in from this direction, and it's going to be setting behind me from this direction, and unfortunately it shines right on the computer screen at the same time. So by moving the angle of this computer screen a little bit, I can take some of the glare away, and we'll see. But I did angle the whole thing about 45 degrees, so the scene behind me this time is a little different than what you're used to. And I think I can make myself a little higher in the picture. Yeah, there you go. Super good to see you all. We got 41 people in here. If you have questions, I'll be endeavoring to keep an eye on the chat. So working hard at it, but if we ignore the chat in the midst of all the conversation that I hope we had, like we had last week, I apologize. I wish Ellen could be here to keep an eye on that for me, but it is what it is. And last Saturday afternoon, I almost made the decision just to do away with this Saturday afternoon live stream, which, seeing as I come on every morning, it's just a little superfluous, I think. But we had such a good time last Saturday. I said, well, let's do it the same next week and see what happens. So if it goes over big, we'll have a good time. If it doesn't go over big and it's slow and boring and I can only have so much to say, we'll just cut it early. That's all. I make the decision whether to keep doing it on Saturday afternoon at 3. Carla Simpson says, question, no mower today. No, they only mow in the morning, and they certainly don't mow on the weekends. You can't expect these gardeners to actually work on a weekend. Come on now. But it is gorgeous out here. No knit cap, no sweatshirt or jacket. It's just warm in here like being in a sunroom. It feels great. And I like it much better when I can do it out here like this. I don't have quite the technical control that I have in the studio, but I have enough where I can do it and make it work. So what I'm going to do right now, I said put QQQ, capital QQQ in the chat. I did see one chat entry that says I want to ask the same question I did this morning. Unfortunately, Ellen's not here to tell me what that question is. I have no way of finding out or going back to see the chat from this morning to see what that is. So we're just going to have to do the best we can this afternoon. Do the best we can. Let me see if I'm live over on Rumble, just for fun, and see if I see some people in the chat over on Rumble. Yes, I am live on Rumble. I see Rod Weeder is there. Mike Seeley and Mike Seeley Sr. are both there. Good to see you. I saw some other people had chimed in earlier, but now that I look again, they're gone. I don't remember who it was. So we have 12 people. Wow, 12 people watching on Rumble, 3 of them represented in the chat there. So let me go ahead and see if I can post this link. Here it comes. It says StreamYard.com. If you click on that link, you'll show up in my green room here, and I can bring you in to the chat. You know, it wouldn't be a live stream if I didn't mention started early this morning, guys. Didn't mention my buy me a coffee. If you like what I do, you feel like helping out, support this channel. Buy me a coffee. I'm going to endeavor, because Ellen usually does this stuff for me. But, oh no, I don't have the link here. I got the coffee mug link. Well, shows you how prepared I am out here. At any rate, it's buymeacoffee.com/oldguycarnivore will take you there, or the link for all that stuff's in the description of this video. Well, I see. Good deal. We got a couple people who popped in, and yes, from in the evening, we've got Tuka, Turamir, Carnivore, and God, Rick. Rick's from Miami here, Charger Mopar. How you doing, Rick? I'll bring you in a second. Lori says Mitch got his teeth fixed and now his mouth doesn't work. LOL. Easy for you to say, Mitch. Yeah, and Papa Carnivore's in there, turning sideways and right side up. Very acrobatic there, Peter. How you doing? Good to see you. Okay. I don't think I really have anything to talk about. Believe it or not, I have been out here since the stream ended this morning, fooling with this whole setup, especially the audio part of it, hoping that it's going to work. So the time to see if that is true is upon us now, and we'll see if we can hear any of you guys. But first, I see a question. Carla Simpson, 4 Qs. I'm not ready to be carnivore, maybe keto, first thoughts. Well, keto certainly works for so many people. If you're a severe carb addict, it'll work maybe for a little while, but you're not going to be able to sustain it. You're going to take the route that just about every keto person does. You'll be spending your time watching all of these videos on how to make keto cheesecake and keto cookies and keto mashed potatoes and keto pizza crust and keto this and keto that, and then before long you'll go, keto? What is that? It all depends what your goals are, Carla. Certainly carnivore is a commitment, and it's an individual thing. And if you want to try keto, go right ahead. Start out that way. I don't know if you've ever been on a low carb diet before, but yeah, certainly. I would certainly say it can't hurt to serve as training wheels if you're a severe addict. If you're not a real severe carb addict, if you can take it or leave it, you do really well on keto. You'll do great on keto. Just get your carbs from low glycemic things that don't contain a lot of flour and sugar, and you should be fine. Anyway, hope that answers that for you. And you don't need my permission for sure. You do whatever you think is going to work best for you. And sometimes the only way to know that is trial and error. Just don't do it for 55 years or so like I did it. It's a lot of errors, a lot of opportunity for error. Anyway, let me start bringing some people in and saying hi to them. I really didn't say hi to too many people in the chat yet. Maybe I should have, but you guys just jumped right in here. And oh man, I got Mark Senior is in there, Mark Boos, and Gregory Smith is in there, and Kevin, Scholar Kevin. I got 6 people in there already. Holy cow! Okay, here it comes, friends. Here it comes. A blanket hello to everybody that's here, and there's 53 of you. So we definitely don't get the kind of viewing on Saturday afternoon that I get in the morning. We had 160 plus people watching that morning live stream today. So, but we're all here. We're all here. So let me start bringing these guys in one at a time. Tuukka Turamir Carnivore in Finland. How are you? Say something. Let me see if I can hear
Good
you.
day, folks.
Okay,
How are
I
you
can hear
doing?
you. Can everybody hear Tuukka?
Let me know.
The meter's moving, so I guess they can. I'm going to look at the bottom of the chat here and see if everybody can hear Tuukka. So good to see you. Let me bring in Rick. Rick, Charger Mopar, man, first time. Good to meet you. You've never been in one of these streams before, have you?
No, I haven't been in your stream. I usually listen to you while I'm working, so this is the first time I get to relax.
Man, what a radio announcer voice you have there, young man. Jeez, and you got a real microphone. Do you do YouTube? Do you have a YouTube channel?
I have a YouTube channel, but it's very small. I don't think too many people watch it. It's more for comedy relief.
Yeah.
But it's funny you mentioned that because a lot of people said that I had a good voice for radio, and the 2 companies I had, I was always the voice on the automated phone system. So I thought that was
Wow,
kind of interesting.
you do, and that microphone's picking you up beautifully. You're putting me to shame
Yeah.
here, young man. You know, geez. Guy comes
And,
onto my stream, sounds better than me. Ugh,
Well, don't feel
never.
bad. I got this microphone really cheap at one of these ham radio. It was either a flea market or a ham fest kind of thing.
Wow, is it a USB or condenser mic?
It's a condenser mic. It
Okay.
runs off the phantom power.
Yeah, so you got to have phantom power and all that. Yeah, it sounds like much better than some of these USB mics, like the Blue Yeti and those that you plug in. It sounds, and it sounds like you've got some equalization and compression and some other things going on to make it sound like broadcast.
I'm not using any compression. I just have a very old one of these mixers, and it has a level adjustment, and it does have a thing where you can stop the clipping, but it doesn't really have any other features. It's a Shure. I mean, it's like 40 years old.
Oh yeah, but the radio 40 years ago sounded great. Do you have? I imagine do you have an equalizer?
No, I don't have an equalizer. I'm not using one.
Well,
No.
then you, my friend, have a great voice. Usually, when somebody says that you got a great, instead of saying a great voice for radio, they say you have a great face for radio. That's kind of
Yeah, I've heard that. But the compliments that you're giving me are good because I know you have a great technical background and you really are observant. So I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you, Rick. Thank you. Like I said,
I don't have a microphone. I don't have a microphone yet. Maybe I should get one too.
No, you sound fine. You sound like you're on a video chat call, which is okay. I mean, the microphones that are in these cell phones and computers these days and tablets are excellent. They're not going to be condenser, phantom powered through a mixer. You're never going to get that. This microphone that I have here is nowhere near the quality of the one I have in my studio inside. This is an old cheap mic that I have made by Neweer. Neweer, but it works okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only problem.
Yes. By the way, boss, if I may add to the Carla's question, personally, keto helped me to lower the step to get into carnivore diet. So it can definitely help to get yourself accustomed to the way of eating less carbs. So
yeah, like training wheels. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Tuukka. Let me bring Peter in here. He's sitting patiently waiting, and we have 3 more people: Mark Senior, Gregory, and Kevin. Holy cow, what a crowd! Peter.
Hey.
Peter's at work. How you doing, young man? Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah. I can hear you.
It's good to see Rick here. Hey, Rick.
Yeah.
Hey.
Have you ever met Rick? Have you met Rick before?
Oh yeah, Rick's in some other streams.
Oh, okay.
Like he'll be on like Nia and Carnivore Teacher. Remember John Laspina who came to your Melbourne meetup?
Yeah. I remember, John.
You know, Rick always is sure to bring lots of duck food to these things.
Yeah, Rick has kind of got an obsession with ducks, and you follow right along there after him. You two guys are quacking back and forth to each other. Oh no, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it appears that I'm still the oldest guy in the room, but that's okay. I'm used to that. I'm used to that. Okay, who else we got here? Next in was. Oh, he's not. I don't see his. He's got his mic muted. I'll wait for him. Says Scholar Kevin. But we have Greg Smith here who's driving away, steering wheel vibrating.
Greg?
Hey, everybody,
Greg,
can you hear me okay? How's the sound?
Yeah, I can hear you. How you doing?
Okay.
How you doing?
Good. Coming through, just passed through Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Wow.
Where you headed?
As far east as I can get. I got to get to Kentucky by, I don't know, Wednesday, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday. So I got plenty of time.
Yeah, I would guess. Man, that's a long trip. What are you hauling?
Shoes. Shoes for shoes for Amazon.
Oh man, okay, cool. Good to see you. And I'm outside. I got the cigar, man. What else do I got? Cigar, coffee, San Pellegrino, a house full of people. Oh, it's cool, man. This is good to see. We had six of you in there. I don't know what happened to Kevin. I'll wait to see if he pops back up. And we have Mark. How you doing, Mark?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Mark.
How are you doing?
Hey,
Pretty good. At friend's house up in St. Augustine. We're going out to see all the Christmas lights tonight together.
another Floridian.
Oh, well, that's cool. I didn't think it looked like your house. I thought maybe
No.
a place where I hadn't seen you with boats behind you. So.
Yeah, and there's the boss.
Hi, Elisa. How you doing,
Hey,
sweetie?
Lisa.
I'm not in my monkey clothes.
All right. Good to see you.
Bye bye.
So, how you doing, Mark?
Oh, we're doing good.
Good.
Long week, but we're doing good. We got out of the
I'll
house
bet.
and trying to enjoy the weekend.
Oh, great.
So I'm with a great high school friend of mine I graduated with who lives up here. And so we finally met his wife and our wives met. And
Friends for life. Sounds good.
So we're going to have a good weekend.
Sounds good. How does now that I got you guys here, how's my audio sounding? Is it
Very
sounding
good.
better
Sounds
than
good to me. Better than this morning.
Yeah, this morning I was really screwed up. I had, I didn't realize it, but evidently I had my equalizer set all wrong. I had the lows weren't boosted enough. The highs were over boosted. I sounded tinny. It was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
It was terrible. Well, I see Kevin's face in the picture. I see, Kevin, your mic is still muted if you can hear me, and I'll bring you in. There you go. And here we have Kevin. Everybody say hi to
Howdy.
Kevin.
What's up, buddy?
Oh,
Hey, Kevin.
Hello.
What's going on?
Hey, Kevin, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes. Or can you hear me?
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, we hear you
Yes.
very loud and clear, man. A little delay, but not an echo. I mean, it sounds like there's a tiny little. When I talk, it was a second before you answered, but that's okay. We can live with that.
Alrighty.
Good. So where are you? Looks like wherever you are, it's cold.
It is a little chilly. It's not as chilly as it was yesterday, but it's been raining. So it's just kind of, yeah.
Are you outside? Are you outdoors?
No, I am in the bedroom here in East Texas.
Oh, you're in Texas. Okay, so you're not like up in Alaska or in Iceland or something like that.
No,
Do you have a TV
not
on
legit.
Do you have a
I do
TV
not.
on in the background? No, I hear a TV playing somewhere.
Not
It's
me.
coming.
Just palm trees and birds.
I just unmuted. Let me unmute you. Now I hear some noise. It's not you, Kevin. It's not you. Let me see if it's not Peter. Might be Peter's store. That store is very noisy. Hold on a second, Peter.
It's gone. Oh,
Yeah, it's Peter. We're hearing a lot of background noise from your store there. So when you're not talking, Peter, just mute your mic, okay?
I was muted when you said that. I was on mute.
Oh, well, no
So it's
wonder.
not me.
I muted you at the same time, so I thought it was me that did it. Yeah, I still hear it with you muted, Peter. So maybe it's not that bad, but I hear some voices in the background, and I just hope I'm not just hearing voices again. I don't like it when that happens. Maybe it's gosh.
No, I hear
But,
it too.
You know,
I hear
yeah.
it too. I hear it.
Let me see if it's Greg in his truck. How would you have voices in your truck, Greg? No, it's not you. Well, it's
I don't.
stopped now.
No.
It's stopped now. Mark, is it you and the girls talking in there? Maybe.
Nope, I'm on the. Nope, you're gonna hear military helicopters in 2 seconds, but
Okay.
no, it's just me.
Tuca's muted, and Rick in Miami. I hear the truck noise, but that's about it. Oh, well, we'll put up with it. We'll put up with it, as long as it isn't overbearing. If it's overbearing, I hear your turn signal. Man, these mics are so sensitive, aren't they, Greg? They pick up
Yeah.
everything. I'm telling you.
Well, this is
Yeah.
I'm on my Beats in-ear earphones,
Oh, okay.
so they may be picking up the blinker there.
Yeah, they were, but these mics are very, very sensitive, and
Yeah.
it's great when you're talking on the phone, but when you're in a chat like this with 6 or 7 other people, and everybody has some different noise in the background, it becomes a cacophony. And speaking of cacophonies, look who's here. We have Spanky.
Hey, Spanky.
Hey,
How
What's up,
you
man?
doing?
How you guys doing?
how are you doing?
doing
Good.
good.
Guys,
Good.
I just wanted to pop
Hey.
in to say hi. I'm gonna go back in with my company. I haven't seen everybody in a while, so I just want to say hi, and I'll see you. I'll see you in the morning.
Good.
See you soon, Mark.
Thanks, Mark, and
Yep.
good to see
man.
you. Have a lot of fun up there in St. Augustine. Go to the Columbia restaurant, man. I know that it's not the place to go for meat, but what a fabulous Cuban restaurant
Well,
that is.
we're actually looking at somewhere to go in St. Augustine tonight. We're probably gonna do the horse-drawn carriage ride to see the lights and all that. So,
Oh, cool. All right, well, have fun.
the wives are gonna plan that.
Of course they are. Of course they are.
All right, we'll talk to you guys soon. I'll free up a spot so somebody else can come in.
Oh, okay.
Take
Thanks,
care,
Mark.
Mark.
Take care.
All right,
Take
we'll
care,
see you
buddy.
guys. Have a good night.
You too. You
Bye-bye.
too. Oh, that was nice to see Mark again. Good, good. Greg, you smoking a cigar at least? So I'm not the only one. All right,
Oh yeah.
that's it. Yeah, I don't want to
Yeah,
corrupt any of you guys.
this is
Oh.
a Bone
Dang, I still
Shaker
do.
Maduro.
A what, Maduro?
Bone Shaker.
Bone shaker. I heard of that, but I've never smoked one. I don't think I've
Yeah,
ever
they're
seen
really-
one in person.
They're really good. This is a Toro. Really good cigar.
Is it a strong or mild, medium? How would you classify it?
Medium to full.
Okay, yeah, with a name like Bone Shaker, you'd think it would be full-bodied.
Yeah. It's got a real nice, a little complex. Cinnamon, soil, leather, that type of thing.
Oh, cool. Cool. Sandy Blythe says this is a long cigar. It's 6 inches long. It's a Toro. It's about average. It's about an average size cigar, average length cigar.
And
But yeah.
you guys having cigars, and I still don't have my cigar
Well,
here.
I'm
Dang.
sorry. If I could hand you one, I would. But it'd be a long stretch.
I got a bunch of tobacco
Cheers.
plants in the backyard.
Oh, okay. Well, go get some old newspaper, pick a leaf, roll it up, join the party.
I use it as an insecticide. That's why I grow it.
Kitchen Witch says, and I'm going to try to keep up with the chat too, guys. So I'm going to be like one-armed paper hanger here. I hope you don't think I'm ignoring you, but I do want to keep up with the chat. Kitchen Witch says, this is so cool, putting faces to the names. That's the whole purpose of this. That's the whole purpose. And who disappeared? Kevin, I think. Kevin disappeared. Yeah, I think there was a lot of noise going on around him. We'll see if he comes back in. It might have been his connection, but yeah. Well, now it's more manageable. Let me go up through the chat. Everybody was saying hi to Kevin, saying hi to Mark and Lisa. Here's somebody made a comment about you, Rick. Rick makes it simple. If the ducks like it, then we should not eat it. DS-111. You can always count on these guys for a wisecrack of sorts.
I have a question for you
Yes.
guys. Do you use duck fat or some sort of like game fat when you cook? How does it compare to regular butter, for example?
Well, a lot of people do use fat from fowl. My ancestors, the Jewish people, it seems like their fat of choice for cooking is chicken fat. In fact, they call it chicken schmaltz. And my grandmother, everything she fried, she did it in chicken fat. Balinces, knishes, all that stuff was always done in chicken fat. But I haven't seen chicken fat much. I haven't seen much chicken fat since I was a kid. It's very tasty. Duck fat is probably very healthy, very good for you too. But you
Everything is better in duck fat.
is it really? Okay, well, there you
Yes.
go. There you go. Our chef, our resident expert chef has chimed in.
It depends. You know what? Of all the cooking fats, my favorite is beef tallow because beef tallow is the one that is the most durable, lasts the longest, tastes the best. But duck fat, it depends on the duck you're getting. Most of the ducks from the canal are kind of lean. So if you want duck fat, you're going to have to grab them and feed them duck food for about a month. That way they'll get fat and unhealthy. Then you'll have a lot of duck fat.
Yeah.
But yeah, beef tallow is my choice.
You have
Fair
to
enough.
do what they do to the geese to make foie gras. You have to fatten them up so bad that they almost
Gavage.
die. They almost die first.
Yeah, they got a funnel with a crank. They call it gavage. They force
Oh,
feed
okay.
them. Or you can just get some Muscovy ducks and just feed them a bunch of junk food, and they do it themselves. You don't even have to force them to.
You don't have to force them. Yeah.
Nah, you give them corn chips and Doritos and all the other nasty stuff. They're just like a person. They get big and fat, and then they're breathing hard, waddling and quacking. So that's
Well, and
Quack,
people
quack.
don't make that connection. That's the amazing thing. You'd think that people would make the connection. Everybody knows that they won't dispute the fact that if you want to fatten up a cow or a pig, you feed it grains. But do you think they make that connection to themselves? Hell no. The doctor told me I need to eat more of that, more and more bread and 11 servings of healthy whole grains.
And you know what happens every time you feed bread to the ducks? Oh no, don't feed it to them. It's bad for them.
Yeah.
And every time they say it, I said, but you feed it to your own kids. So why are you saying it's bad to feed it to the ducks? They look at me like I'm crazy.
They just don't. They're just, and they're not stupid people either. They're just ignorant people. Nobody's ever told them. They've always all their life heard the exact opposite. The exact opposite. Don't eat the meat, eat the plants. Don't eat the meat, eat the plants. The meat will kill you. The plants are going to make you healthy. And the worst of the plants are the high starchy things, And then we make them even worse because we process that whole wheat down into powder, into friggin' powder, and call it flour. And God, and it gives you such a hit of sugar when you eat it that it just makes your addiction incredibly happy and just continues to reinforce the addictions. And it's a vicious circle. And it would be obvious to anybody that put two and two together, but people, they're just snowed. They're snowballed. They think their doctors are just experts and smart and they know better. So even though it may not make sense, do what your doctor says. And that's why we're in the mess we're in. And we all know that. Very few of us know that, at least. And we're here. We're all in this room here right now. Let me put the link back up there for anybody new that would like to come in and join us and show your face. There it
Hey,
is.
Mitch, while we're breaking right now, if I freeze up, I'm in New Mexico. It'll pass. So,
Okay.
New Mexico's probably got the worst internet in the country.
Okay, no problem. If you get dropped out or something, just come back in when you get a good signal. I see MM is here. He says, hi, trucking carnivore. So you're not the only trucker either watching or participating right now. And who is this? It said, Cindy Braddock, this country is so dumbed down that it isn't even funny. No, it's not funny at all. It's very sad and pathetic. Very. Here, Rick, just so it doesn't go to your head, Sandy says you have a great voice.
Thank you. You have great taste.
Yeah, there you go. So let me guess, what kind of car you drive, Rick?
Oh, that's easy. It's in my name.
No kidding.
But you got to guess what year. That's the tricky part.
Well, I gotta bet it's a vintage one. Is it
It
a
is?
vintage one? Yeah. I gotta bet it's a vintage one.
I'm gonna say
'Cause those were-
70.
I have a 70 and a 69. You are
Oh
right.
man, those are great. Those are great. And you live in
Awesome cars.
and you live in Miami too. Wow.
Yes, I do.
Wow.
Rick just met his first carnivore last week.
Yes, I did.
Was that you, Peter?
No,
Nope.
somebody else.
Oh, tell us, Rick. Tell us a story.
It's Russ Mitchell. I don't know if you've seen him. He has a channel. He's called the Homesick Buckeye. He's been on Carrie's channel before, and we have a live that we do on Tuesday. And it's more of a comedy thing than anything. He's more into the keto, but he is carnivore basically, because I consider anyone that eats more than 70% meat is a carnivore. But yeah, he came down to Florida to visit one of his relatives. And then, of course, he had to rush back up to North Carolina because his dad was dying. But he wanted
that's bad.
yeah, he wanted to meet up with me. So he says, I'll take you to the nearest Brazilian steakhouse. So we went to the one, it's actually down the street from here. I drive by it all the time. I didn't even know it existed. And boy, was I impressed. Let me tell you, they tried to give us the cheap meat at first, but we wanted ribeyes and picanha, and they kept bringing it out. The meat was delicious. We had a good time. So it was nice to, after 17 years, finally meet somebody from YouTube. And yeah, it was, I was really happy about it. It was like the highlight of my year.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Well, the next time we do a meetup here in Melbourne, come on up.
Well,
Jump
if
in
I
your
can if I can get my truck to run, because my old Charger, it's a gas guzzler, and I don't think I'm going to take that up there. Plus, it's rusty. I'm working on that, but I do have my old truck. If I can find a good 7.3 to stick in it, then I'll do that. I'll load up with a bunch of seed oil and drive on up. That's what
Okay.
it runs on.
Oh, that's funny.
Yep.
Funny you say that. I had a restaurant.
Really?
Yeah, I had a fish and chips restaurant in Orlando. That was my last business venture that failed in 2006 and 7 because of the financial collapse and the economic and real estate collapse of 2008. And I was I had just built this restaurant in a brand new community in Orlando called Baldwin Park, really upscale, like Celebration in Disney. One of these communities that's the downtown area with all the fancy shops. And I had one of the prime locations right near the lakefront where they had pavilions, and it was just gorgeous place. But the economy hit, and they stopped building. They never even built a parking lot. My customers couldn't even park. That's how bad it was. And I mean, there was nothing I could do to fix it. I lost a ton of money in that. That was the last business. That's what. After that, I said, "That's it. I'm done. I'm done. 3 strikes, you're out." That was my third major business failure caused by things that were out of my control. Like in the 1980s, I was building $1 million homes when we had that real estate, the economic collapse, the real estate crisis, and all the savings and loans went broke. You were probably very young when that happened.
I remember it. I was a teenager.
Yeah, and here we had a whole new community, big upscale, gated for rich people, and everybody had spec houses, and we were all paying interest on those, and all of a sudden there was no market at all. The banks couldn't lend. It was crazy. It was crazy, and every one of the builders that was in there went broke, me included. It's like a tsunami. I don't care how good a swimmer you are, when a 2,000-foot wave comes along, you're dead. You're dead.
Yeah.
You're dead.
Well, you're relying on income, and when people don't do any business, you have no income.
You have no income, but the cost of doing business doesn't go away at all.
That's right.
You still have to pay the banks. At any rate, it was ugly, and the restaurant was my ticket back after I had my computer company basically stolen away from me by my partner, Hewlett Packard Corporation, and I had a business plan to open 10 of these restaurants in the Orlando area in 5 years, sell the whole mess for a bunch of money, and just float off into the sunset on a yacht, and it would have worked had the economy not completely crashed. But that's life. That's life.
Yep.
And now I'm an old fart YouTuber here.
Hey, I've had a couple of businesses that failed, so I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, and you look back and say, well, did I miss something when I started this? Did I fail to anticipate something? And the answer is you can't anticipate some of the oddball things that happen in this world. You just can't. They're much bigger than you. So at any rate, the reason I was telling you that is I had this restaurant, and we of course did tons of fried shit. We were a fish and chips restaurant. We fried. It was called Grouper and Chips was the name of the restaurant. We fried up grouper. We had gourmet seafood too, lobster, shrimp. We had everything. It was great food. Glad that I gained weight. It was tremendous, tremendous food, and we sold our cooking oil to a company that made biodiesel. And they would come, every couple of weeks, and they put a big tank in, and we dumped our stuff into their tank, and they pumped it out, and they took it back to their plant and processed it. And the funniest thing that I noticed was the first time I went out there, when their truck pulled up, it smelled like French fries. It did. It burned that biodiesel. It smelled like French fries. I said, wow, it smells better than diesel fuel. Anyway, yeah.
It's funny. Mine doesn't smell like French fries. I refine it so much, it actually smells more like paint thinner.
Oh, no kidding. But when it's running, when it's burning,
it's running.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Wow.
Like French fries.
No, they evidently didn't refine it that much.
Yeah.
Listen, Mitch, I think Kevin is back in the.
Oh, okay.
back
Yeah,
studio.
I do see some people down there, and I see Aaron is here too. Aaron, Booby Goats. Holy cow. Look at you. Hi, Aaron. How you doing?
Hey.
Oh, good to
Good
meet
to see
you.
you.
Good to meet you. And Greg is back, and I'll bring Kevin back in, and now we got a full house again. Holy cow. Thanks for reminding me. See, on my little notebook screen here, down at the bottom is where I have the green room, and the bottom row, I have 2 rows full now, but the bottom row, in order for me to see it, I have to scroll down. So I very easily could actually ignore people that are there unless I pay attention. So Aaron, we've never met you in person before.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
So Aaron, you've got a YouTube channel, I understand.
Yeah, I do.
Tell us
I do
a little.
a lot of maybe some carnivore updates, but I also feed my chickens a lot, and I try a whole bunch of different tin fish for fun.
Oh, okay. Where are you located? Where do you live?
Middle Tennessee.
Oh, you're in Tennessee. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I know a lot of people are living in Tennessee these days. It seems to be
Yeah, it totally sucks because it drove up the prices on everything.
I'll bet it did.
Yeah.
So is that?
They're like, California's coming.
Yeah, everybody's coming. I hear. Is that chickens? I hear. I heard something clucking away. I don't know what it was, a noise, and I didn't know if it was coming from you or wherever. Not that it's that bad. I'm trying to identify what it was.
If it's me, it's probably my kids. A few of them were like, "I want to say hi to Mitch," and they're screaming.
Oh, okay. Well, bring them on. Let them say hi. Let them say hi. And it's great to see you. Great to finally meet you. You sent me an email, and I still have it in my inbox. I can't believe it. It's still in my inbox, and it's not like I leave a lot of emails. I only have like 3 or 4 emails in my inbox, and these are emails that I said I need to get to this. And one of them was to actually do an interview with you, and
let's count this as an interview. I'm good.
Okay, all right. Life is short, Life is short, so it's great. I'm glad you came in here, and
I thought, hey, I come by and say hello. I just brought the kids back from the Christmas parade, and they throw candy at the kids. So I was like, you guys go outside and eat that candy outside. Get it out of the house.
Cool. Yeah. Well, it's it really is great. According to YouTube, my demographic is mostly over 60.
Me too.
like 98%, and it's really great today, like to see Rick and you know, some younger people that aren't 70, 80, 90 years old. It's great to see you guys, and even Peter's a young man too.
Well,
As a matter of fact,
62.
everybody's a young man except me.
Hi, Aaron.
Hi, Rick.
That's Peter. That's Peter. Said
That's
hi
me
to
at the
you.
bottom.
Oh, sorry. Hi, Peter.
Hi.
You're at the top. You're in the top,
drink.
and
Yep.
then Tuka's here, Turamir, and we have. Here, let me get rid of that. I'd put up a chat. There you go. We'll make you all a little bigger.
There
And
we
Kevin
go.
is back. Kevin, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
I can. Very good.
Loud and
Very
clear.
good. Okay. Okay. So
Hey, Mitch, how's the noise level over here?
I can hear a little bit, but it's not overbearing. It's not
Okay.
overbearing. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
I
that's.
had to switch off my headsets. They were dying.
Uh-oh. You guys would get a kick. You'd really get a kick out of this setup that I'm streaming from out here. I got wires running everywhere, and everything is plugged in though, so I'm not relying on batteries for anything. It works pretty good. Works pretty good, and I thought I sounded really good today until Rick comes on and.
You're too funny.
It's true, Rick.
That's funny. I like it. I love your channel. That's another thing. Between the humor and the practical knowledge, you can't go wrong here.
Thank you, man. That's a high compliment. That's a very high compliment. I really appreciate that. And
We agree.
Peter went dark there. Yeah, he's muted. He probably had to actually go to work and sell something. Imagine. What are the odds? What are the odds of that?
Well, you know, some of us have to work for a living.
Yeah, I see that. Well, you don't work. You just sit in your truck and drive all over the place. That's not really work, is it?
It's
That's
mental work. We used to do that all the time for the post office. They make me drive. That is mental work.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I can't imagine being a truck driver on these roads these days. It makes me nuts to try to drive 5 miles on any interstate anywhere.
Yes. Once the brain
Yeah, and
fog
I'm doing about
goes, you know,
600 a
everybody else
day.
is fogged, and you're like, watch out.
Yeah, these people do not know how to stay out of the left lane. They don't know how to stay out of the left lane. It's crazy. Peter's gone now. This is like playing musical squares. You know, it rearranges, and I can put anybody anywhere that I want to. See, if I wanted, for example, Aaron, if I wanted you up here next to me, I could do that. See?
Cool.
In fact, I'm going to reserve that spot next to me for the prettiest one in the live stream. So if Aaron goes away, we'll have to see which one of you guys I think is prettiest.
Yeah, I was like, maybe I'll have to leave soon, but I don't want to see.
Oh man, yeah. I have a lot of. Do you use StreamYard? Aaron, do you use StreamYard?
I don't. I've never actually used it. I've been on it a few times, but I haven't actually used it.
Okay, well, you know what it is, right? You know what it is. Yeah, you have all kinds of things that I don't use. That intro and outro that I'm using now is a feature that they offer you. So instead of just coming on and say, hello, is this thing on? You know, instead of that, you get an intro and it mutes your mic, and it plays the intro, and then immediately fades the intro out and fades into whoever's live. I like that, and the outro is pretty cool too, because you know it does that. But the outro has a quirk that I discovered, and I didn't know it had this quirk. It's supposed to play the outro and then end the stream, but there's about a second before the stream actually ends where it turns the picture back on. So after the entire outro, there's me sitting there like this. So I tried to take myself out of it, and I can take myself out of it like that. But I was still there at the end. So now I have to watch the outro and wait till it ends. And at the very end of the outro, I have to go, I have to do something fancy. You know, so it doesn't look like, you know, I got caught with my pants down. But it's a good thing I wasn't in my finger 2 inches up my nose or something at the very end there, you know, scratching an itch,
The
because
first
that
time
would have
it
been
happened.
very, very, very embarrassing. Show business. It's show business, man. I never thought I'd be in show business, but it's fun. It's fun. I'm having a good time. And we got 70 people in here. Not the biggest
Oh,
crowd we've
cool.
ever had, but it is you know, I mean, down here in Florida, it is one gorgeous day. Isn't it, Rick? This is the best time of the year, isn't it?
I'll
Best
tell you
time.
one thing: you can't beat it at this time of the year. It's just normally it's so hot, humid, and miserable. Boy, now I get more work done in the couple of months at the end of the year than I do the whole rest of the year.
Oh, you're right. This is my favorite, my absolutely favorite time of the year. This and springtime is without a doubt, just gorgeous. And it's chilly in the mornings, and I come out, you know, dressed like an Eskimo here to do this on the porch. All that just so I can use this cigar as a prop. and piss off those people that it pisses off. I do it on purpose. It's an in-your-face kind of thing, you know.
Is it more
Isn't
of
that
a
right,
George?
Greg?
Is it George Burns or Jack Benny or what?
It's all of those guys. Every one of them smoked cigars. Milton Berle smoked cigars.
Groucho Marx.
Groucho Marx. Everybody did. They were like my grandfather was of that era. My grandfather and George Burns were the same age. My grandfather was born in 1889.
Ooh.
Man, think about that. 1889. He lived to be 102 years old.
Was it
And
Jack
he
Benny?
What's that?
I think Jack Benny didn't smoke any cigars, or who was it who did
Yeah,
the
Jack
shows
Benny,
with
I think.
who
He
did
might,
these
Cigars.
he might
shows
have.
with Mel Blanc back in the days?
Yeah, but I think most of them back in those days, most of the men, especially the Jewish men, and most of those guys were Jewish. They were all the old comedians were Jewish. Sid Caesar, all of them, and most of them were cigar smokers, and they all lived to be ancient. Every one of them. The cigars didn't kill them.
George Burns, he has a famous quote. He always said he attributed his long life to whiskey, women, and cigars.
That's true. But they ate a lot of meat. Those guys ate a lot of meat. I remember my grandfather's eating habits were normal for those days. He never ate sweets. He never snacked. I never ever saw it. And my father was the same way. I think back to my father and my growing up. I don't think I ever saw my father put a bite of food in his mouth unless he was having a meal. There was no grazing all day long, no snacking. When we became carbohydrate addicts, that necessitated eating every 2 hours. And that just reinforced the cravings, and it became a thing. Snacking became commonplace, and it became a thing, and then it became medical advice. Now they tell you to eat 6, 7, 8 small meals a day.
Yep, that's what they told me to do with gestational diabetes with my when I was pregnant. I had like 7 diagnoses of gestational diabetes, and they were like, you got to eat every 2 hours, and there's got to be like small meals. And I followed the meal plan. I test my blood and be like, blood sugar like 140, and I'm like, this isn't right. It should be 120. What am I doing wrong? I actually cut the carbs out myself just to get a better blood reading, and it was all just eat this, you gotta eat that.
Greg, excuse me one second. Greg, I had to mute your mic because I'm getting a lot of wind noise from your truck. So mute your mic unless you go. There you go. I don't want to forget you, and so you do it. But just when you're ready to say something, unmute the mic. That's great. Super. Yeah. So eat every 2 hours. And eat what? Sugar. What else? Eat sugar. Eat carbs. Eat starches.
Duck food.
Yeah.
It's funny. No matter how much you watch these carnivore videos or carnivore YouTubers, you never get meat advertisement. You always get something like Oreos or something else. Like you get some cookies or ice cream or some other stuff, but you never get meat commercials.
Well, nobody does. Nobody advertises
meat ads.
Nobody advertises meat on YouTube. Anywhere. Well,
True.
Toromir dropped out. What happened to you?
Well, I get ads for probably because I search them in my feed. Local ranchers and butchers that sell meat direct. That's the only meat advertising I ever get.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you get, well, you see some meat advertising, some sponsors that sponsor some of the carnivore people. Some of these, they send it, you know, the big meat packers that, well, they call them small family farms, but they have pretty big operations when they can pack that stuff up in dry ice and ship it. And
Like Butcher Box.
yeah, Butcher Box and those kind of guys. Yeah, but that's as close as you see. The few times that I've actually caught an ad before one of my videos, it most often it was a drug company ad for something or other,
Get a lot
which
of
really pissed me off. And I wonder if they do that on purpose or they just don't know what they're doing.
I keep getting the Jardians fat people all the time. It's very annoying.
Yeah, the dancing fat girls. I get, that's one of the ads that I got one time, and there was another drug ad. I don't remember what it was because I don't watch it very long. And the reason I end up seeing these ads is I have premium YouTube, so I don't have to watch ads, but I have it on a different channel than my Old Guy Carnivore channel because I don't watch, when I sit down to watch YouTube, I don't watch it as Old Guy Carnivore, which is a reason why I don't comment very often in other people's videos, because it would just come through and say Mitch. It's my regular Mitch channel. I think on that channel I have 6, maybe 5 or 6 subscribers who are my family members, basically. You know, I've had this channel ever since I first got a Gmail address way back. And but on the Old Guy Carnivore channel, I don't have premium. I'm not going to pay for that twice. It's like 15 plus a month. So I get ads. So if I happen to switch the channel over when I'm watching YouTube, switch it over to my Old Guy channel, then I'm going to get an ad in front of every video. But I never, you know, I always hit the skip the ad button. I don't ever watch the whole ad, but I do see what the ads, what ads that they're feeding me.
Hey Mitch, you know you can add your Old Guy to your paid subscription.
I can?
Yeah, my son and I share a paid Gmail account. He's got his, it's his subscription, and he added my email to it.
No kidding, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Well, why don't I try to do that? But everybody I'm subscribed to as my Mitch channel. So I would have to go ahead and resubscribe to just about everybody, because the only time I ever actually have to switch my YouTube viewing channel over to the Old Guy is when I have to preview a private video or something that I can't get to from other than logged in as Old Guy. You know, if you have an unlisted video on your channel or a private video, you have to be logged in. And sometimes when I have a video scheduled to be released in advance, it takes it private and then opens it up at whatever the time is. And if I want to preview it on my, you know, viewer, I have to actually go in and change the account that I'm logged into that viewer so that it will know that I'm entitled to see these private videos. But that doesn't happen very often.
And just so you know, Mitch, I think Turomir is in the waiting room again.
Yeah, okay, good. How did you know that? Did he say so in the chat?
I saw it in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
good.
there is a backroom chat that we can chat with each other in the backroom, and the YouTube channel viewers don't see the chat it's only for the StreamYard, I think. And my apology,
okay.
for some reason when I complained about the ads, I suddenly got my browser automatically blocked my mic and cam, so I had to adjust my settings again to get back in.
And they say that we're not being watched closely. Right. That's
funny thing.
Yeah. Some of these funny things happen too often to be labeled as a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Time to go through the peeling of the ring routine. Look at the size of this ring, will you? I mean, God, big ring.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What the hell kind of ring was that?
This, it was
Is
a
it
big,
Perdomo?
yeah, Perdomo ring.
Oh, okay.
It's just about 1.5 inches tall, though. I mean, it's a very, very tall ring.
Yeah. Yeah, the Bone Shaker, they've got 2 rings. They got a little skinny one and then the main one.
Yeah, well, more expensive cigars, the more rings you have on a cigar, the more they can charge for it.
Yeah.
When we were making cigars, when I had that cigar company years ago, we were making cigars. We had a particular cigar we called the Exclusiva. That sounds exclusive, doesn't it? Exclusiva. And we had not only 2 rings, but we had a footband on it too. You know, sometimes they put a footband down at the bottom, and we put a footband on it, satin footband. That cigar looked like $1 billion, man.
Didn't they have a commercial? I remember as a kid, the guy's smoking a cigar, and he asks the kid, "Do you like music?" And then he says, "I have a band for you," and he gives him the cigar band. Wasn't that a
Oh,
commercial?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was something Burns cigar. I don't remember. I remember that as a kid.
I don't remember that.
Bob Burns cigars or something like that.
Yeah,
Doesn't ring.
EP Carrillo does that satin footband thing, and then they want to charge $17 a cigar.
Yeah, they charge extra. It makes it fancier. It's one more thing to try to pull off without damaging the cigar. Sometimes they get some glue. Seeps out and it sticks to the wrapper, and you end up peeling off half the wrapper when you try to remove the rings. So sometimes it's better just to buy them with no rings on them.
Does anybody make El Explodo?
El Explodo.
Like Bugs Bunny?
No, but I had a name. I had a great name picked out for cigars at one time. It was a joke, because there is a cigar called El Rey del Mundo. And El Rey del Mundo, King of the World. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna make a cigar, and I'm gonna call it El Rey del Baño, which literally translated means King of the Shit House.
So you made cigars?
Yeah, I had a partner named Silvio Palomino. He was born. He was Cuban descendant.
Mm-hmm.
He was. I think he may have been born in Cuba, but they emigrated here very early in the days of the Cuban immigration and settled in Miami.
My dad did too.
Oh, okay.
My dad was Cuban.
Okay, it's great heritage. They're great people. Every Cuban I've ever met, I've just felt an affinity for some reason. But they and he had these cigars, and I met him at a cigar show in Tampa. In Tampa, they had this every year. They had this big thing, and all the guys from Orlando that were cigar smokers, we used to get out. You know, we got hotel rooms over there. We go over for the night. We eat dinner at the Columbia restaurant, and we'd go to some of the great cigar shops that they had there, and the lounges, and hang around in Ybor City. Okay, that's Ybor City for those of you who don't know. It's Ybor City. Old part of Tampa, yeah, and a lot of that's
all over the place.
That's the old center of cigars, out other than Miami, other than down in Miami. But so we go to that thing, and they have vendors. And I come across this booth, and there's Silvio Palomino cigars, and Silvio's standing there, and he's got all these cigars. And he was selling bundles of what they call Cuban sandwiches. You know what that is, Rick? A Cuban sandwich is
You mean like the white bread?
Shortbread.
Ham sandwich, white bread.
Filler. No, Cuban sandwich in a cigar means it's short filler.
Oh, okay.
It means it's made out of the cuttings that are left after they roll a long leaf. They take those things and they pretty much, in essence, splice them one over another and lay them out, and they roll them up, and it makes a great cigar. It's the same tobacco they use in the premium cigars. It's just pieces, made out of pieces, and they call them Cuban sandwiches or short fill. Now, you can buy them in bundles for $2 a stick. And occasionally you get one that's plugged, occasionally you get one that wrapped too loose. But basically, if they're made by a decent roller, they're excellent. And I always look for the cheapest cigars I can find that actually are built fairly well and burn good and have an okay flavor. I don't want to be spending $20 a stick for cigars. That's crazy. Even when I had money, I didn't do that. That may be the Jewish in me.
Smart
Yes.
man.
Yes. Spanky, you
Yeah.
waving at me?
Yeah, Peter wants back in. You needs the link put up again.
Oh, okay. Peter, where are you? Oh, you're not even in there. Okay, here's the link. Thank you for bringing that to my attention.
And I need to drop out, so I need to say hi and bye to everyone, and it's good to
Bye.
see you
Bye.
and see you again soon.
Yeah,
Probably in
Duke,
the
care.
morning or something.
always a pleasure to see you, man. Good to see you. Take care of
to see
yourself.
you,
Get some
folks.
sleep. Get some sleep, will you? For
Not
God's
yet.
sake.
In an hour or two.
Okay, that a boy.
Okay,
See you later,
bye,
See
Duke.
you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
bye.
Okay, and who did I take out there by accident? Rick.
Here.
Okay. Anyway, I was telling my story about the $2 cigars and the cost. His cost for these cigars, in other words, was about $1 a stick. So they sell them in bundles of 25. So the wholesale price on a bundle of the average bundle of these Cuban sandwich cigars is $25 for 25 cigars. So I met Silvio and I said, hey, listen, can you mail me these things? These are great. I smoked one, and Greg's showing us another cigar here. What do you got there? Cuban, I can't hear you. You're muted, I think.
Come on.
There you go. Whoop.
Yeah, these are Cuban sandwiches. These are Nicaraguan overruns. They're amazing.
Yeah, and how much are they? A couple bucks a stick?
$54 a bundle of 25.
There you go. $2 a stick. Yeah, and that's what they cost, and they're great cigars. And you get a bad one every once in a while. You get one. So what? You throw it away. You don't complain. You just throw it away. It pisses me off when I get a $15 stick that's plugged. I mean that aggravates you. But a $2 stick, cost of doing business. So I buy these things from Silvio, and I said, can you ship these to me? And he said, yeah. So I took I don't know, 5 or 6 bundles home with me. And he sold them to me for like $40 a bundle, which is the cheapest cigar I ever bought in my life, for 25 cigars. And then I started ordering from him mail order. And one day he calls me on the phone because he knows that he's we kind of became friends, and he knew what I did, and he knew that I knew marketing. And I was, at this point, trying to be retired on no money. This is after I went broke. I was living in the house next door to my son over there, up here in on the coast, recuperating from all the terrible things that life had dealt me. I was depressed. And Silvio said, could you build me a website and we could to sell these things online? Well, one thing led to another, and we decided to partner up. So I became his partner. And the two of us were now the owners of Silvio Palomino Cigars. And he had a cousin. He had a cousin in Tamboril, which is in the center of the Dominican Republic. It's pretty much the cigar capital of the world. At least it was until Nicaragua got going as crazy as it's going. And hold on a second. There's Peter peeking over from the bottom row. Hiya, Peter. You're back. Okay. So his name is Hochi Santana was his cousin's name, and he owned a cigar factory, and he did a lot of contract work for a lot of major cigar makers, and he also made a line of flavored cigars for one of the biggest supplier of flavored cigars that there is, or was. And so Silvio and I, we designed a line of cigars. We still called them Silvio Palomino cigars, but I went ahead and I designed new rings, new box designs. I did all that graphic work and pretty much put together a complete brand for cigars. We flew down to the Dominican Republic. They started making them. They shipped them in. They shipped them into West Palm Beach through customs. Silvio was living in Stewart at the time. And he'd go pick them up at customs, and he would drive up I-95 with the cigars. and I would meet him in Vero Beach at an IHOP. And it was like a drug deal, only no money changed hands. We'd sit, we'd have breakfast, and I would load cases of these cigars, and as much as I could fit in my car, I would load up my car full of cigars, and I'd take them home, and I built a closet into a humidor in my house, and I had thousands and thousands and thousands of cigars. Greg, can you imagine what that was like? I had thousands and thousands. There were times when I had 20,000 sticks in that closet. I had a big humidifier designed to do a whole room, and it was really cool. And then I ran the website. That was my job. My job was to do the creative work, run the website, take the orders, fill the orders, and ship them. And we split everything. Now, I never made much money doing that, but I sure smoked some great cigars for a number of years. And to me, I was working. I felt like making a sign, "We'll work for cigars," and hanging it up, because that's pretty much what I was doing. And we were doing okay. We had a lot of regular customers. We were selling our cigars cheaper than everybody else. Imagine, Greg, being able to buy the equivalent of a $10 stick today from any of the best manufacturers, being able to buy that for $4 to $5 a stick. That's what we were selling them for.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'm telling you, $100 a bundle, $120, $110 for a bundle of 25. When we added like $10 when we had to make the box, because those boxes were $10. And if any of you, I don't think any of you don't believe me, but if any of you want to see what it was like, go to YouTube and search for Silvio Palomino cigars. And there's 3 videos that I made of my adventures at the cigar factory, out shopping for tobacco at some of the big warehouses down in the Dominican Republic, and they're fabulous. I watch them every once in a while just for nostalgia's sake. And the reason we stopped doing it was the federal government turned over the regulation of tobacco to the Food and Drug Administration, took it away from ATF. The Food and Drug Administration decided they wanted to put cigar manufacturers out of business, and they started making all these crazy, crazy laws, and we couldn't even risk it. We couldn't risk it. Even getting involved, because there was very high odds that they might confiscate a complete shipment of ours at customs because of whatever they decided was the violation of the day. And the rules were draconian. But like so many of these things, I don't know if it ever really got enforced or not, but it said to me, nah, I'm not making any money at this. I'm getting cigars to smoke, but I'm not going to risk losing $40, $50, $100,000 worth of cigars because somebody at customs got a wild hair. And I just gave it up. I said, I can't do it anymore. And that was the end of the cigar business, the government. Same thing happened to me in the drone business. Here I am doing drones, doing aerial photography, starting to make a little money at it, had a drone channel, and the government comes in, wants to outlaw drones and license everything. And now they're about to ban DJI drones from sale in the United States, the biggest drone manufacturer in the world, because of its ties to the Chinese government, they say. So no matter what I do, and I almost hesitated to start a carnivore channel lest the federal government create a whole new department of anti-carnivores. Yes, Peter.
Did you see on the news there were these like bunch of drones in New Jersey they're finding over Bedminster and military facilities? These pretty big drones. Did you see that on the news? I think it was on Fox News.
No, I didn't see it, but it happens. I mean, it's bound to happen. You can't turn a product loose that somebody won't figure out something nefarious to do with it.
Well, these were like 5 of them or 6 of them in the sky all at once. They're flashing lights and everything, and they're flying around, like 5 or 6 of them all at once.
I wouldn't be surprised. Who knows what they might have been doing? It might have been a prank. Might have been spying on something. Who knows? Who knows? There's a gazillion drones in the hands of people who don't know what to do with them right now.
Yeah.
And it just
Sherry
got
wants
ugly.
to join the chat.
Who does?
Sherry.
Oh, okay. Let me post the link again.
Come on in, Sherry.
I'm glad you guys are watching out for the chat. Great. Sharpie Aquatics is here. Hello, everyone. Ellen is here. Hey, Ellen. I didn't notice. I haven't been looking at the chat. I've been busy trying to juggle this madhouse we got here.
Yeah, this is a men's club. We need to get more women in here.
Well, we got Erin here. Come on.
I know, but she needs more women, right?
Yes.
Maybe she likes all these guys.
We'll bring Sherry. We'll bring Sherry in.
7 brothers, so I'm used to guys.
You're used to it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Sherry says, I definitely don't fit in with this crowd. Let Mitch enjoy his party. No, you can come in, Sherry. You got Aaron here, Booby Goats. So I don't even want to ask you how you came up with that name, Booby Goats, but I have to ask you.
Oh, so we got goats when we first moved here to Tennessee because it's all overgrown family land. And my 3-year-old at the time, she was a big singer. And she was singing to my youngest baby. And she was like, Booby Goats, Booby Goats. And I was thinking about coming up with a YouTube channel name, and I needed one. And I was like, well, that's hilarious. I'm using it. That's my handle now. And my kids were like, no, don't use it. It's weird. And I'm like, nah, it's funny. I'm going to use it.
That's funny. What was she trying to say that came out Booby Goats? Was it something else?
I think she was just trying, I don't even know. But it sounded like Booby Goats, and I went with it. She was probably singing Baby Goats, now I think about it.
That's funny. No, it's funny. I wondered about that. Ellen asks a question here, says, what do you think about the drones delivering packages? Well, that's the reason that they ruined the entire drone hobby and the model airplane hobby along with it, is because Amazon and UPS and FedEx and all these guys thought that drones were going to become a viable way to deliver packages. And they envisioned people getting pizza deliveries by drone and food and groceries. And from the very beginning, those of us who knew drones and were in the drone community, we were saying that it's impossible. It's too expensive. It's too much risk. It can't work. Just controlling the traffic of these things. And the reason that they fought so hard to keep the hobbyists out of the air was because they wanted the airspace reserved for their traffic. And it really never happened to any extent. They still test it here and there, but nobody's really successfully mounted a large-scale drone delivery, tube socks and stuff like that to people's houses. It just hasn't happened yet. We'll see. We've all been figuring.
There's a company in Africa it's an American company, but they've got a facility in Africa where they do on-demand medical supply deliveries.
Yeah, that's a whole different story. Yeah, that's a different story. Number one, it's in Africa. It's to remote areas, but you live in a big neighborhood in the Bronx, man. Drones have no business trying to deliver to major metropolitan areas. Can you imagine the amount of drone traffic there would be if that's the way they decided? It would be absurd. It would be obtrusive. It would be noisy. It would be horrible. It would be like the Jetsons. You look up and you can't even see the sky anymore for all the shit flying around over your head. And then the first time one of them had a mechanical problem, fell out of the sky and killed some kid falling on his head, that'd be all over anyway. And can you imagine what it would cost to insure an operation like that? But they still kept pushing, and they had a lot of clout, a lot of money, a lot of lobbyists, and they managed to lobby all of us poor little drone hobbyists that have been model aviators all our lives, flying model airplanes and things. And they managed to ruin the model airplane hobby, too, with all of their regulations. And I went out and I got my Part 107 commercial drone pilot license because I couldn't even, believe it or not, I couldn't even put up a drone video that I shot on YouTube without having an FAA 107 license. And the reason is that the FAA 107 license says that if you're doing anything in furtherance of a business that involves your drone, anything in furtherance of a business, you must be a licensed drone pilot. Well, putting a YouTube video up that might make $4 in advertising revenue, that counts for them as furtherance of a business. So all of the YouTubers, there were bunches of us in the drone community, we had to stop putting them up on YouTube. The FAA fined this one poor guy named Mikey up in Philadelphia who had a drone channel, and he used to fly around. This guy was an excellent drone pilot, kind of a bust-out kind of a guy, one step above homeless, but he was a fabulous drone pilot. He was big and fat and overweight, and I lived in the poor sections of Philadelphia in South Philly, and yet he became such an excellent aerial photographer, and he used to take the drones off from his house, and his channel name was Philly Drone Life. He's still on. You could look up his old videos. You'll see some aerial photography. He would of the downtown, of the buildings in downtown Philadelphia, over the river, of the ships that are in the harbors, the museums, the ships they've made museums out of that are in the harbor there. And he would take such incredible aerial footage. And everybody was always reporting him for breaking the regulations. And the FAA got onto him, and he would live stream these things, and there was recordings of his live streams, and he couldn't say that wasn't me, I didn't do it. He was talking right through the whole thing. Made fabulous videos. He was a character. He used to come. We became great friends, and he used to come on my live streams with me, and he was a funny guy, just a nice guy, great guy. They fined him. The FAA fined him $182,000 for drone violations. And they're still fighting it. And this is 5 years later. $182,000. God knows how many violations there were to add up to that. But at this point, he agreed not to ever fly a drone again. He turned all of his drones. And he made some money on YouTube and spent it all on drones. So everything he had, his whole net worth in life, because he had nothing to start with, was his collection of drones. And he had some nice drones. Holy second, somebody just by my front door. Huh. You guys talk amongst yourself. Let me go make sure I don't have anybody standing out there looking for me. I'll be right back. That doesn't mean you guys can't talk.
Greg, where are you?
Currently, I am in Encino, New Mexico, about 110 miles from the Texas state line.
Right.
And it's an absolutely beautiful day outside.
The snow's melting up here finally.
It is?
Yep. It's +7 today.
Oh, wow. That's like a heat wave.
Yeah, up here it is.
I complain if it goes into the 50s. I get really, that's Fahrenheit.
Oh, looks like Mitch got a box.
Got a package. Hey, I know what it is, too.
What is it?
I know what it is. Aren't you dying to know? Okay,
yeah, what is it?
You guys are going to be the first. You remember WeVac, the vacuum sealer company?
Yeah.
You guys know about that because I showed you all their products, and people have been buying them. People bought a lot of those things with that 15% discount. Well, I never had any sponsors. They're not a sponsor, but they sent me a couple of free, fairly expensive vacuum sealers to make a video. So I said, okay, why not?
Nice.
I really wanted one of those things, so I did it. So they emailed me about last week, and they said, we have a new product. And they told me what it was. And what it is these storage bags, vacuum storage bags, not for food, but for things like blankets and sweaters and clothes. You've seen those. You put them in the bag. They got a small little battery-powered portable vacuum pump. You put it on there, and it sucks them down and makes something this thick, and seals it up for storage. If you want to put it in your garage, or if you're packing a suitcase and can't fit all that bulky stuff in there, and the whole thing costs like $20-something for the kit. And they said, would you make a video about that? And I said, well, that's pretty cool. I could use one of those. Yeah, hell yeah, why not? So They sent me one. So I have
Nice.
one I have one of those things in the box here, and I'll see what it's like. But so like I say, that's the closest. I work for stuff. I guess instead of money, I work for stuff.
It's good.
But they're great people, and they've always lived up to honored whatever agreements, and they these vacuum sealers, these WeVac chamber vacuum sealers are tremendous machines, and they sent me 2 of them. I gave one to my son. He loves the thing. I gave the smaller one to him. I kept the bigger one for me.
I used to do vacuum canning.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you can use these vacuum sealers. They have attachments for that.
Mm-hmm.
They have
Yeah, it's
attachments.
like you put the can in there, and then it has a thing you crank. It rolls. They used to sell the cans with the top off of it, and you put your food in there, and then you put the lid on, and then it vacuums it out, and then you use this roller you crank to seal it up. Then you put all your cans in a pressure cooker and you boil them. I used to do meat like that for years,
Oh,
even
no
when I was a
kidding.
kid. Yeah, it was handy. It lasts for years.
Yeah, that stuff is good. They also have attachments for mason jars.
Right.
Suck, create a vacuum in a mason jar, and the chamber vacuum sealer comes with all the hoses and attachments and external things to do all these reusable bags and all that other stuff. But this is really not made for food. This stuff here is made, I guess, primarily for clothes or things that you want to make sure stay dry. If you have to store your stuff in a crawl space or an attic or someplace that might be damp most of the time, you put them in these bags, and they're not that expensive. But the neat part about this deal is the pump. It's rechargeable by USB, okay, and it has its own batteries, and it's not very big. So if you go on a trip and you pack your suitcase with all the stuff crammed into these plastic bags and compressed down to nothing, you can just throw the pump in your suitcase with you. So when wherever you go, when it's time to repack, you've got the pump and everything to just re-vacuum them down. And I think for 20-something bucks, even as a gift, it would be it'd be a neat thing to buy. So I said, okay, why not? I'll do it for you. I'm always looking for things to talk about. You can only talk about eating meat so much. I wish I had $10 for every time I've said the 2 words "eat meat." I wish I had 10.
Speaking of new gadgets, I got a new meat slicer came in the mail yesterday. Big 10-inch commercial slicer I got. My wife bought me for Christmas.
Oh man, I got this little home consumer version one, which is fine for all the meat that I slice. But you go to a deli and you see these big stainless steel deli meat slicers, and I go, oh man, look at that.
I got a Hobart like that.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, somebody gave it to me. It was broken. It's like everything else I have. They were going to throw it out.
Hey, if you can fix it, why not?
It's got a stone built in where you can sharpen the blade. It's really handy.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
wow.
So this one I got it on sale. We got it on sale from TikTok for it's a $270 slicer. We got it on sale with one of their coupons for $180.
Well, that's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah. Some of these commercial slicers that they sell to these delis are fabulously expensive machines. I mean, they're designed to be used all day, every day. Can you imagine the workout that, let's say Walmart in their deli, those slicers that they use in the Walmart deli where they slice up that stuff, and they run all day, every day, how good they have to be. So, hey, Peter, you selling anything today?
Yeah, I got about 10,000 already.
All right, man.
It all was this morning early, and then it kind of died off. I
could use 5 of that if you could spare it. That'd be great.
Well, that's in the amount in sales. I don't make that.
I know. I'm just busting you. I'm just busting on you, man.
Do you have TVs there too?
No, just furniture, mattresses, and rugs.
It doesn't pay for furniture stores to sell any kind of appliances anymore, not with the Best Buy and Amazon out there. You couldn't make any money on it. It wouldn't,
No, they get the corner on that market, and Walmart sells a lot of TVs.
Yep.
I see CB Carmack's in the chat. How you doing, Sheriff? Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you as usual. Good to see you always. Boyd Lamb's in there. Hiya, Boyd. And some of these guys that are in there are still chatting up a storm. Wow. 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 Boyd says, crap, forgot about our Saturday afternoon live stream. Was playing on my phone shopping. Yes. Speaking of shopping, I think somebody bought me a coffee. Let me acknowledge that. Whoever that was very nice. Hang on a second. Let me take a look. Oh, and it went ching right there, and it was Aussie Gal. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Mitch. Appreciate your help, she said. Thank you. She bought
Mitch,
me a coffee.
You got a banner on the bottom.
Oh, I got Ellen Scooby. Thank you for reminding me. I always do that. I can get rid of it just like that. I have other banners that I can put up there that would actually mean something, like this one. Buy me a coffee. See, guys, you see how that shows you just how much I think about being commercial on here. What else have I got here, by the way? Let's see. I have one that says, oh, here's one I never use. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. I got that one. And I got the one with my website address on it, Old Guy Carnivore, for the Amazon page. Yeah, I've made all these things. I never use them. I forget about them. Never even look in the. But that's another thing you can do on StreamYard. You can make backgrounds on StreamYard. You can put up backgrounds. I don't know if they're going to show up here. I can also up there, if you look up in Spanky's window up over his shoulder, I can put my little face up there. It's kind of gray looking. How about this one? Yeah, there it is. There I am. Yeah. So I can do that. I can put bacon over the top of. I can put a bacon emoji over the top of everybody.
Yummy.
I mean, you can add anything you want. You can add a graphic in like this. There you go, Peter. Yeah, they show up. You can put your intros and outros in there, and there's some backgrounds to it. And when I had Lee Copus, when we did a couple of live streams together, Kent Carnivore, I had, well, you can't see it here. Because we got too many windows open, but that background is an American flag and a British flag. And I use that. And somebody else just bought me a coffee. Jerry Voitush has bought me a coffee too. Thank you so much, Jerry. I didn't see your name in the chat because I haven't been looking. But thank you, my friend.
What's that archaic thing that Rick has on his ear there?
Oh, a telephone.
That old. When's the last time you saw somebody on that?
You mean an actual telephone? Yeah,
I see. He's got a house phone.
I see. Yeah. Wow. I wouldn't even know where to find one of those anymore. I can't believe it, guys. We're almost an hour and a half into this stream. The time really flies by, doesn't it? I enjoy this kind of stuff. This to me is what community. Chatting and typing is one thing, but actually getting face to face with people and talking. It's as close as most of us are going to get because we live so far away from each other. We very rarely ever get to meet anybody.
It's kind of nice. It makes my day go by real nice. Driving down the road gives me something other than the highway.
Yeah, or listen to the news and make you really, really nuts. Really piss you off.
I try not to listen to the news.
I don't blame you.
I got all my news here in the morning. That's all I need to need.
I listen to the news in the morning just to make sure the world hasn't blown itself up overnight. And that's about it. But there's very little good news. Lori said, Rick has all the cool old stuff. See that, Rick? You're a young man, but you're living in our past, man. That's great. No, Slow says it's like mind control with that bacon graphic. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Nothing was more satisfying than to be able to hang up the old style phone on somebody. A slam.
Oh God, I remember the old dial rotary phones that had the bells, the real bells in them that went ring. Remember those? Yeah.
you'd start dialing the phone number and had a whole bunch of 9s in it, and you have to start all over again.
Oh God, yeah, that would piss you off. All 9s and 0s. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we, of course, as kids, we learned how to hack the old phone system real quick. You could dial by just jiggling the hook. If you wanted to dial a 2, you'd go jiggle, jiggle, and then you wait, and then next number, and it would actually dial the phone. And we also learned that if you went to a payphone and stuck a thumbtack into the phone cord and tapped it against the metal of the phone case like that, you could dial the phone too without putting any money in it.
I made a video of dialing like that.
Did you really?
Yeah, it's on my channel.
Ah, okay. So there are no new ideas, but we were doing that when we were kids. I mean, back in the 60s and the 50s. Come to think about it, I was born in 47, so most of my childhood was really spent in the 50s. Oh God, it's hard to believe. Hard to believe.
Time go, eh?
Yeah, time does fly. Tempest fugits is Latin for that. Time flies.
Yeah.
I'm trying to kind of read the chat. The chat is great. Guys, you guys are great. We don't have a lot of people here today. We got 53 people, which is, half of what we normally get. Maybe we're having fun, but we're probably boring the hell out of everybody else. But that's okay. That's okay.
So I was a child of the 60s and early 70s, and man, there were no fat kids when I was growing up. There was maybe one or two that you would say were chubby a little bit, but nothing like what we see today with some of these kids.
Yeah. No, they're destroying the youth in this country.
I mean, they're so sick.
When I was a kid, it was commonplace. My mom would tell us, "Get the hell out of the house.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you till the street lights come on or until dark."
Yeah.
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
But we were raised feral, so we'd be all over town.
And not only that, the kids, they not only they get no exercise, but they've got, not only are they, obese and stuff, but they've got, I think there was 50% of them have mental issues or on medicine for mental disease. It's sad. And there's also a lot of autism, tons of autism too.
Well, all that stuff. The Amish community, there's 0 instance of retardation and Down syndrome because they eat a clean diet. They don't have all the junk in their food.
Yeah.
You pardon me, I'm scrolling up here looking for cues. Questions. I don't see any.
When I had my video with Kerry, I remember that was how I started out the video, talking about when I was a kid that there weren't any fat kids. There was just everyone was skinny.
See that, Aaron?
I saw
we got
it.
your subscriber, and Sherry Morgan says you're so cute and has 10 kids. Do you have 10 kids? Oh
I
my
have
God.
kids. I have 5 girls, 5 boys.
Holy
wow!
You know what causes that, right?
Yeah, we figured
evidently hasn't figured that out yet.
Yeah.
We did so. Not pregnant.
Oh man, 10 kids. I can't imagine going through that once, let alone 10 times.
Your food bill must be crazy.
It is crazy. It's almost like $400 a week.
You don't look like you're any more than like 19 years old. How the hell could you have 10 kids?
I had my first one at 21. I'm almost 40.
Are you? Well, wow. You look great for 40, I'm telling you, because everybody knows 40 is over the hill, isn't it?
Yeah. Look great for 40 and for 10 kids.
Secret is you just eat meat, water, and butter.
I'm wearing a shirt you guys haven't. Let me move my mic out of the way. I'll show you this shirt that.
Aging like a fine cigar.
Yeah, and it says in case you couldn't read it, because there's just one of these shirts with a shitload of writing. I'm aging like a fine cigar, full-bodied and a little leathery.
That's good.
but I'm not full-bodied anymore, so it doesn't apply. But yeah, I like this. I like this shirt, and my cigar is getting down there here.
Mm.
Getting a little stubby there.
Stubby. I got a little ceiling fan on right over my head here, and it's starting to cool down here. So let me turn the ceiling fan off. It's not helping me light my cigar. Oh, and I didn't turn the lights on the ceiling fan. I usually use those lights to make a difference. Not enough to make a difference. I had so much light coming into the window, I didn't turn them on. But if I'm out here at night, and I was out here. When was I the other night? Did I do a lot? I didn't do my Tuesday stream. Oh, I did the Thursday stream from here. I did the private community stream.
Yeah.
And that's when that light on the ceiling fan came in real handy. And I also have one floodlight that I have pointing at me from this direction, opposite from the windows, to try to throw some light, because I look like I was half lit, and the rest was in the dark.
Like me.
Rick, was that a 3-button remote from an old Zenith TV?
No, it's an X10. This is an old X10. Remember these?
Oh my goodness.
Classic.
It controls everything.
Yeah.
Oh man, look at you. Look at you.
What is that?
So would you call yourself like a scrounger kind of a guy? You go to garage sales a lot?
Garage sales, dumpsters, the dump. Sometimes I sit outside the dump and I look at what people are bringing in and try to see if they'll give it to me. Yeah, I'm a scavenger. When you're a poor guy, you got to be resourceful.
They say one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yeah.
That's right. Pretty much everything I own was either very cheap or somebody threw it away.
Well, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. People throw away some really good stuff.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. And we are in that kind of society. And another, Glenn Ish bought me a coffee. Thank you so much, Glenn. I appreciate that. Never get enough coffee. Do I still have any coffee left in my cup here? I do. And that warmer, oh my God, what a treasure that thing turns out to be. This coffee's still hot.
You wonder how you lived without it.
I said to myself the first morning I came out here and had hot coffee at the end of the morning stream, it was still hot. I said, why haven't I done this before? Because generally in the morning it's cool out here. It doesn't take 10 minutes before the coffee's cold. And I sit here drinking cold coffee through the whole stream, and at the end I still have some left, and I usually try to gulp it down. And it's not repulsive, but it's not good either. This is still tastes great, man.
Yeah, I've got
Still got steam coming. It's got steam coming off of it.
My insulated mug will keep coffee hot for about 2 hours.
I've got one of those too, but I didn't want to use it out here in the stream. I want to use my
you want to use
my morning coffee with Mitch cup, and I still I like drinking coffee out of a ceramic cup. What do you
Mitch,
got there?
I had an old school cup
What is
warmer
Rick?
like you have, but it's an old one.
What was Rick showing us there? Rick, what were you showing us?
Oh my goodness.
What is that? Oh my God! Look at that phone.
Oh my God!
An old business phone. Holy mackerel, with a hold button.
That looks like from the 70s.
It's 80s. Remember the David Letterman show? He used to have these.
Yeah.
You must have a big box on the wall somewhere for that phone system.
Yeah, it's a 1A2 system. I have it in the back room. There's a power supply, and then there's several of those, line cards.
Yeah, man. I used to have in my businesses. We used to have an equipment room, and one whole wall was covered with phone system equipment. So I remember those days.
I also have the rotary versions.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Do you live in a junkyard or near one?
I live at a junkyard.
That's great, man. I'm glad you came in today. I see your name every time, and it's so great to meet you guys. It really is great to put a person with an actual human being, walking and talking human being with the name. Even somebody that talks as much as Spanky does and is always interrupting us constantly. Oh man.
I'm here for the good conversation.
Yeah, we do. We have a good time, and a cigar, and we're grown ups. We're all grown ups. I see Ellen was all over the chat today.
Hey, Mitch, Rick is a real gadget guy like you, for sure.
Oh, no shit. And DS111 says, Mitch, do you know what Mopar is? That's the question. Yes, of course I know what Mopar is.
Oh my God.
Look at this.
I have that phone.
Oh, isn't that great with the buttons? And you know how many of those things I installed back in the day? I always did all my own phone installations.
Well, Mitch, now you got Rick doing his show and tell. He loves doing show and tell.
I'm telling you, you know that
he's got gadgets.
I could show you tools that nobody's ever seen before. I don't know. Rick is blocking it. He's coming and going there as far as the signal goes.
That's because he pulled that webcam out of a junkyard.
Oh, okay. Yeah, look at that.
Look it up.
Rick, I don't know if you can imagine the collection of punch tools that I have.
Oh, I can imagine. You should see the 25 pair tool that I have for making up these goofy cables.
Oh, man. Yeah, all that stuff. In fact, when I had my computer company, one of the things we did, and this was 30 years ago, when the internet was just coming into education. Well, my company contracted with, we had 13 different school districts in Florida, 13 different counties, that we did all the internet wiring for all of their schools. And so you talk about terminating Cat 5 cable, and I've got I still got all the tools and the cable testers. So
I got some of those too.
Yeah, I've got the Gizmo a cable tester that does everything, but the handiest thing that it does, oh, look, a mohawk. How you doing, kid? Cute. What number is this one?
This is number 7.
Number
His name
7.
Is Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon. Oh man, look at those. Yeah, look at those cheeks on him. Cute. Very cute. Very cute. But yeah, I was saying that I have this set of tools for identifying, you know, now what are you showing us? Holy cow. Oh,
that's a network analyzer.
A network analyzer. Okay, I've got a one that's was really expensive, and it's very portable, and it comes with 8 little things, and they have numbers 1 through 8 on them, and you plug it on one end of a cable, and you go to a bunch of cables coming out of a wall, and you're trying to figure out which cable goes where. I've got the tone generators. Remember the tone generators?
Yeah,
you wave the wand around the cable, and you listen for the noise to come out in the other room. So, oh man, all that stuff. And I kept most of those tools.
I got all that stuff too. So when I had my first business in 1995, we were doing internet. We're installing networks and all that. And a lot of this old stuff that I got, it came out of closets and offices and stuff that people didn't want anymore.
Oh,
so
I bet it was worthless.
Installed it. Yeah, it was worthless.
It was worthless. That stuff was worthless. It had no monetary value whatsoever, other than people like to collect stuff like that.
That's me.
But
I love to collect.
Just a couple weeks ago, when I started doing these morning live streams, and I wanted to actually hardwire my connection out here so I didn't have to rely on Wi-Fi, I ran a piece of Cat 5 or Cat 6 now, but anyway, I ran a run from the switch, one of the network switches in my office, out here to the patio, and for the first time in quite a while, terminated an RJ45 connector on the end, and damn if I didn't remember still the color coding. Orange and white orange, blue and white, green and white blue, blue and white green, brown and white brown in that order across
B.
it. Yeah. And I remembered that. And what a pain in the ass it is to install those connectors on the end.
Yep.
But
you have to straighten out the twists, and then you have to try to cut them just right, stick it in there, and
the tool that I have is nice. It's got a cutter. Once you get them flattened out, you
Mhm.
cut all of them at one time, and then you hold them between your thumb and forefinger, and then you slide the connector on.
Mhm.
Push it all the way in, and make sure, but you got to make sure you don't cut too much off, because you want the actual sleeve of the cable to go into the area of the plastic connector that gets crimped. Otherwise,
Right.
it'll just break.
The problem
And-
is they have those two little razor blades to cut the jacket, and sometimes it nicks the wire. And then when you crimp it, and then you try to put it in there, then it breaks, and then
It
you're
breaks,
testing
yeah.
the cable. Believe
I've
me,
got
I
a-
know.
I've got one of those that you just has a loop where you put your finger in and you put it over the cable, and you just spin it around once, and
Right.
and you can set them precisely so it doesn't cut deep enough to cut any of the insulation on the actual wires. And you know you did it right when you got the clear plastic sheathing that's inside still there and it hasn't been cut. So
I used to do server racks. I'd have to make hundreds of those stupid patch cables. I hated that work. I mean, I was so glad when they started making them. I could just buy them.
Yeah, we bought them out of China by the tens of thousands. You go to Radio Shack or you go to Best Buy, and they're $5 a piece for those little 1 foot patch cables, and we used to buy them for 2 cents a piece. 2 cents a piece.
When I started installing, we couldn't even get them. You had to buy the connectors and make them up. 94, 95, I forget what the year was. By I think by 96 or 97, then we started getting them from China super cheap.
Here, I'll be right back. Talk about show and tell. I'll be right back. Plus, I have a cigar in the other ashtray that I didn't finish. I'm going to go get that because this one is burning my fingers. Be right back. Chat amongst yourselves.
There you go. Maybe I can make a phone call. I could take calls on this, believe it or not.
Well, it's still the same, the old hardwire phone's the only thing that's going to work when all the power's out.
Well, the problem is I don't have landline service anymore. They took it out. It's over the internet. But I'll tell you one thing. I love using the handset. I can hear, this covers it up. It's easy to listen. Even got a little volume control on some of those where you can increase it. So it's practical.
The house that I have out in Nevada is wired for phone service. First house I've been in Ages, it was pre-wired.
All right, I'm back. And here's one for you. Here's a walk down memory lane for you, Rick.
Jesus.
Wow. Got a bunch of them.
Network cables.
Wow.
Blue ones,
you got
red
a bunch
ones,
of them.
1 foot ones, 10 foot ones, 6 foot ones. This is nothing. You wouldn't believe. Here's a little short one. I even got a shorter one here somewhere.
That's what she said.
Oh, here it is. It's on the floor. Here's a little tiny one. Look at this one.
Yeah. I got a collection of cables here.
Let me get my headphones on so I can hear you. And we paid 2 cents a piece for these, all packaged up, so you could put them out on a retail store and charge $4.95 for it. Crazy. You know how old these things are 20 plus years old.
Wow.
And they're probably better than anything you can buy today.
I'm telling you, and I wouldn't throw them away. I don't know if I'm as bad as Rick about saving old shit, but there's stuff that you say, I might need that someday.
I got all kinds of junk.
Oh, I can see.
Radios.
Yeah, you make me look like a piker in that department. But I just wanted to show you that I too am afflicted with that particular disorder.
That's the problem. When you have people that are very intelligent that can do a lot of things, they tend to collect stuff.
Yeah, you think so?
Oh, I know so. Trust me.
Which is why when I moved into this house of mine, which is, a modular house, about 1,900 square feet. It's a big modular house, but it's about 1,900 square feet. What did I do with my lighter? Oh, there it is.
Bigger than my house.
And I live by myself. I'm a bachelor. It took 2 moving vans to move
Huh.
all the shit that I have. 2.
Well, you know, your house is bigger than mine. My house is only 1,500 square feet, but I think it would take 4 semi trucks to move all my stuff.
Well, that's what happens. I mean, if I can't get anything new because I can't find a place to put it, and it's absurd. I've got the collection of drones and model airplanes that I've got.
Well,
Is crazy. It's crazy.
at least you don't have a bobcat and a bulldozer in your yard.
No. I haven't gotten to that. I haven't gotten to that yet. I did know a guy that lived up in Tennessee that did deal in used earth moving equipment. You should have seen what this guy had. He had warehouses full of that stuff.
My garage is full of old Mopar Charger parts. I got engines, transmissions, body panels, everything stuffed in there.
You got a
wouldn't
wife?
believe-
You married?
No, I am not married.
Because a wife probably wouldn't put up with that for long.
No woman would tolerate me, that's for sure.
Okay, we're back in the cigar business, guys. We got about 10 minutes left in this thing. Well, it really went by fast, didn't it?
It goes by when you're having fun.
Yeah. Ellen says to you, quack, quack, Rick. I was just at the park and saw a lot of ducks. Always thinking of you.
There you go. It's like everybody I know, whenever they see a Muscovy duck, they think of me.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah. I love Muscovy ducks.
Particularly Muscovies, huh? Well,
they're the most delicious.
Oh, okay. I haven't had a duck. I haven't eaten a duck in a long time. I used to
Really?
when we went to Chinese restaurants, I used to like to get the Peking duck, but yeah. In so many of those places, you had to order it a day in advance.
Well, I tell you, you can get good effects. I mean, a friend of mine gave me a turkey that he had. I fried that up in a pot, and that was really crunchy and delicious. So even, if you got enough fat, that's the secret, I think, with meat. Have the right amount of fat and cook it up, and it just tastes so good. I've had turkey like the regular way, and it's extremely boring. But when you deep fry it in beef tallow, it's really good.
Oh, no doubt about it. And no, the biggest screw up in the world was when McDonald's stopped using tallow on their French fries and went to seed oil.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I remember the original McDonald's French fries. When I was in high school, we had a McDonald's right across the street, and they had real French fries fried in tallow, and they were addictive. They were tremendous.
It's funny. I hate potatoes. Potatoes I always found disgusting. But when I was a kid, those McDonald's French fries smelled so good, and when I taste them, they actually tasted good. So there's something to that. I don't know. I don't like any kind of fries now. But so I do make fries for my friends, but I use plantains that I get from my yard, and I cut them into French fries and I fry them in beef tallow, and they're actually pretty good.
Oh,
but I can only eat 2 bites, and then I get bored with them.
So have you been carnivore for pure carnivore, or do you still eat some veggies?
I really don't eat vegetables. The only time I do eat seasonal fruit when I'm running low on meat and I got a lot of fruit laying around the yard, because I got all kinds of stuff. The problem is I hate most fruit. I got a bunch of avocados, but I can only eat like 2 bites before I'll throw up. And then with the other fruits, the bananas, I only like them when they're green. Usually I feed the fruits to the ducks, and then I eat their eggs. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, vegetables don't appeal to me. And I don't like anything like bread or crackers or any of that stuff. I don't.
Wow, are you lucky? Are you lucky?
I don't know if I'm lucky or not, but I got criticized a lot as a kid. My mother used to tell me I was so picky, and that my dad said that I would get a heart attack because I don't like to eat vegetables. I used to hear that all the time. That's why I came up. I started calling all my foods heart attack foods. And I said, well, I'm on Rick's heart attack diet. And then when that guy out in Arizona or Las Vegas made the restaurant called the Heart Attack Grill, then I was laughing because I thought, man, that's exactly the same way that I feel. I don't care. I felt so good eating meat, I didn't care if I had a heart attack.
It's ironic that in retrospect, it turns out that that's the healthiest diet we can eat. That's the anti-heart attack diet. Bacon and eggs. Remember, they're always demonizing bacon and eggs, and it became so much a part of our culture that even in these movies, even in all these old movies, when somebody orders, they're in a restaurant like a diner or something, and one of them orders bacon and eggs, the other one has to make a snide remark about having a heart attack. It's just always always happens. It's like written into to every script that was ever written. Oh well, God, aren't you brave? Aren't you brave? Eating that, risking heart attacks. And turns out that's the best shield and protection against heart disease that there ever could be, eating real animal fats.
Well, the one thing that I have to admit is that since 2020, when we had the whole virus scare, and a lot of people I knew had so many problems. I had friends that were hospitalized. I had a friend that was in intensive care. It was really bad. And I just realized, that was before I really noticed you in the carnivore channels. I wasn't until 2021 or so that I really started seeing the carnivore channels, and I realized my heart attack diet is actually not a deadly diet. It's actually a healthful diet. And I went through this whole thing without a problem. Other people I know were depressed and sick and everything. And my mom had just died. And I was like, I went back to normal in no time. It's amazing.
Even the people that got COVID, it was like a cold or a mild flu. The people that died from COVID were the people that were extremely metabolically ill. They were the diabetics. They were the ones that had severe heart disease. They were the ones that were eating all of the foods that they tell us are so healthy. And yet today, even today, with all the people that are talking about this, not just me, because I don't have that big a reach, but the Ken Berries and the Sean Bakers and Casey and Kaylee Means and Robert Kennedy and all these people now that there's still people, seems like nobody's got the message.
No.
Haven't gotten the message yet. They still keep telling you,
I've been interviewed by Chafee and Baker and a lot of people, and nobody has ever in my real life just come up to me and said, Rick, I saw you on YouTube. So evidently my reach is almost nothing. I couldn't even get my own parents to try the carnivore diet, not even for 1 month, not even when my dad was dying. I kept telling him, I said, Dad, you're sick, you're itching all the time, you feel miserable, you told me you wanted to die. Let's go have some steak. Let's have the fattiest, most delicious steak. I know you like meat, but he wouldn't do it. He did it one day and felt better. And then after that, wouldn't do it anymore. It made me so mad. My mother,
they're so brainwashed. Everybody is.
But it's horrible. And I said, look, you're not going to. I told my mom, they said, you got 6 months to live. I said, Mom, why don't you have a steak? Oh, I don't like beef. It's disgusting. Oh, no. And it was terrible watching her get sick and old and had to change her diapers and all that. It was terrible. I said, Mom, you would have been better off on the heart attack diet.
Yeah. Nah, they don't know, and they're not allowed to find out, and they're still not allowed. There's got to be some major changes. And then the thing that kind of, here, Lori Rebedo wants me to send her some heat up to Wisconsin. I have to send Ellen some, too, when I do that. I'll maybe have a truckload. Maybe I get Greg to drive a truckload of heat up there for me. Come down to Florida, fill up your truck with warm Florida air, head up to Wisconsin before it cools off.
I got more hot air here than anybody.
Yeah, the thing that puts a damper on my enthusiasm for any real changes happening, it's not just the greed and not just the corruption and not the fact that this is so cemented in our culture now, what's a healthy diet and what is not, but the fact that everybody's an addict now. And once you're an addict, no matter what somebody tells you or evidence they show you, you don't want to stop. So the people that are going to fight this the most aren't the drug companies and the food companies, it's their customers that just don't want to even think about living without it, which is why people are so resistant, even with evidence in their face. Look what happened to me. You've known me for how many years? Have you ever seen me this thin and healthy?
Yep.
And that's okay, Mitch. But my doctor said that what you're eating is deadly, and that I'm going to follow his advice, even though I'm taking 15 prescription drugs and I can't get out of bed in the morning, and I'm 20 years younger than you. I'm sorry, and it's not logical. That's their addiction, feeding them lame excuses.
The thing is, I tell people that all the time, and they say, well, Rick, you've never been fat. You've never been sick. You're the exception. You're like my grandfather that smoked cigarettes and lived to 90. Like, no, it wasn't the cigarettes that kept him alive. He probably had bacon and eggs and steak. That's why he lived to 90.
And that's why he didn't get cancer. He didn't get cancer because you're not eating the sugar. You're not going to get cancer. I said that the other day on one of my
I
streams,
remember.
and I'm sure people thought I was nuts. I said, I don't think there was cigarettes that caused that much damage and so many cancers. It was the fact that people were so metabolically ill that any carcinogen of any kind would get it started and it would prosper in that environment, in that sugar soup that was their body. But you can't talk like that. You can't talk. They'll put you in jail these days. You
Yeah.
know, YouTube has throttled us unmercifully on this
Mhm.
channel. You know, look at my view counts these days. Terrible. Ever
Yep.
since they hooked up with the World Health Organization, they ought to call it the
that's
World
good.
Death Organization because they're certainly not giving people good advice. Hopefully some of that'll change. In the meantime, all we can do is we can take care of ourselves, and that's about it. And that's what we
Yep.
have to do, and support each other. Well, listen, guys,
Yep.
it is 5 o'clock, and I've got a big ribeye in the sous vide to make for my second meal of the day. It ought to be done about now. I'm going to go in there and sear it up, have a little dinner, then come out here and take all this apart, take it in the house, and then come out first thing in the morning and put it all together again. Story
Sounds
of my
great.
life. Yeah. So listen, it was great to meet you, Rick.
My
Greg,
Absolutely.
always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to see you. Who else I got? I see somebody. Oh, Peter's driving. So we'll bring Peter back. And Peter, good to see you again today, man. Take it easy. We'll see you next time. And okay. So everybody drop
See you,
out if you
Peter.
want. If
See
you
you
don't want
guys.
to. Okay,
All right.
everybody say goodbye.
Peter.
Aaron, a real treat, sweetie. It was great
Bye,
meeting
Aaron.
you.
Good to see you
Come
finally.
join us again, Booby.
Yeah,
I
and
should.
don't be a stranger. Don't be a stranger, okay?
Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
You
all.
take care of yourself. Okay, take care. Greg, we'll see
All
you
right.
guys. Okay.
Bye.
And Rick, pleasure, man.
Yep.
Good to see you.
All right.
Good to see you.
Glad to
See
be
you again
here.
soon. Okay, see you
All
again
right.
soon. All right, bye-bye. And that leaves moi here by myself, me, a little happy traveling music. Hoping that you can hear it. Okay. That was great. That was a lot of fun. Had a good time. It's still warm enough. I didn't have to go get my jacket. But don't fret. I will be back tomorrow morning at 8:30 Sunday morning for morning coffee with Mitch. Get your mugs out. Get ready. Get ready, my friends. And I will see you then. Take the rest of the day off and eat meat.